listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Boy and Girl Thing. I'm Kit Smith, and I'm the author of the book, Let's Meet Our Match, your complete guide to success in the world of internet dating. And to my left, as always, is
Cece Schatz.
And she is?
I am.
The doyenne.
The doyenne.
Of all things dating, divorce, relationships, vehicle maintenance, landscaping, tax accounting, interior design, you name it. We've got it covered because we got the doyenne.
I am woman, and hear me roar. But honestly, I do focus on divorce recovery, relationship loss, really kind of rebuilding your life again, going through that transition of dating. And, you know, here we are dating. We're talking about online dating a great deal with this particular show, Boy and Girl Thing. So it's just kind of right up my alley. And so, you know, we want to move forward to help you with the online dating, but we also want to help you in your relationship building. So that's really what it's all about. So
well, the first thing is to find somebody that you can have a relationship with.
Absolutely. But the thing is, you also have to have a relationship with yourself. So
yes,
as you move forward, that's the very first thing, the starting block that you want to do. So what are we talking about tonight?
Well, the first thing you want to do is put your own house in order.
Absolutely.
Take inventory of you and what's going on around you, where you've been, and where you'd like to go. And that's where we come in. And with the advent of online dating many years ago, we've been given a wonderful vehicle to reach out and search for a partner. And, you know, it shows no signs of slowing down. At one time, it may have been a phenomenon, a fad, but now more than ever, it's mainstream and it's not going away anytime soon. So why not take advantage of it? Okay. And why not let us help you to use the online dating sites to your advantage?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I think everything that we do, you do want to use it to the best of your ability, and you want to shine, and that's what it's all about. You know, you want to be the star out there.
And it's okay to admit that you're walking into it in the beginning, just where do I start? And so
but how exciting is that?
Absolutely.
I mean, I love that. I love the idea that you're doing something new. You're shaking it up a bit.
That can be said about a lot of people, but there are others who are a little apprehensive about something new and something unfamiliar.
Well, you know, I kind of think we all are. I think when we start out with something, we all feel that way. Some will kind of go in and just put that in the pocket, that feeling, and they'll just move forward. Others will dwell on that a little bit. Others will say, "Oh," and they'll back up. So, you know, you've got a lot of that. So that's what we're here for, is to really try to encourage you to be the best that you can be and really not be fearful of your future.
And that's the most important
step forward. Step forward into it. So what is our topic tonight? Because I think we have a pretty good one. Do you remember?
Yes, it's 5 different things that
5 hot topics of conversation for your online message. You know what? I think this is a good topic because I am on the dating sites, and I know you equally are on the dating sites, and you of course are a writer, and I'm, you know, a misspeller, and
you need my help desperately.
I know. But the thing is, I mean, I get so many, well, how are you? You know, and so many of those old things, and bless their hearts, they don't know what to say, you know, so they're trying to make an introduction. They're trying to do that. So what I thought would be great is that we come up with some ways and some different ideas for them to be able to start online conversation.
Or even if we reiterate things that are already, information that's already out there. For example, one of the most common complaints that I hear from women is, well, he doesn't read my profile. Men don't read the profiles. They just look at the pictures.
Right.
Okay. So that is something we can address. And I'll any of you men out there that are listening, show the other person some respect and some courtesy. If you're attracted to the pictures, read the profile. Read the profile, because in many cases I have found over the last few years, the women have begun including little statements or little bits of information to determine whether or not you have read their profile.
You know, I'm sorry, but I think that's being a little bitchy, actually, myself.
Okay,
I really do. I think it's being a little bitchy, and I think that, you know, if you want to like go and try to trap him, did he not read your profile? So you're going to throw these little key things in to see if he, forget it. You want to build a relationship. So what you want to do is create a profile that's going to kind of, you know, make you shine a little bit, bring you out a little bit. I don't disagree
totally with what you're saying.
But guys out there, right, and guys out there, I agree with what you're saying. Guys out there, I would suggest you want to make a connection with her.
Right.
So you like her, she's hit your hot button, you know, the chemistry, as he always says, is flowing. So you want to make that connection, and the best way to make a connection to a woman, and believe me, because I'm a woman, and I'm going to tell you straight up, is you want to make that connection with her. So you want to read her profile. You want to find something within the profile that you can make that connection. So when you're writing to her, you can say, oh, well, you mentioned you have a dog. I happen to have a pet. You just pull something out of there. A million zillion things that you can say, rather than, hey, you got great legs, or, you know, how are you? You want to starting to make a connection, because right away she'll start thinking, he's getting me. He's really kind of getting into me a little bit. And so you want that building block of starting to build a relationship, and you do it right off the bat. So online, I feel, you go right off the bat.
That's step one.
Absolutely.
And step one to making the connection, from a man's point of view, for me. Mm-hmm. I see a group of pictures on a profile that I like. I want to go read the profile. Right. I want to read the information. I want to find out about the person and see if we have enough in common, and whatever that may be, lifestyle, vacation time, activities, to warrant responding. If there is someone, I have said this on other shows, and I'll just use this as an example. I have seen profiles where there's 8 beautiful pictures, and the 9th one is on a motorcycle.
Oh dear.
Okay, Kit doesn't do motorcycles, and
we're trying to talk for those.
I'm just using it as an example.
I know.
I'm not here soliciting for dates. Okay, I'm using it as an example of what others may see. There are people that are allergic to pets.
But that's why you use the pictures and you use the profile. Okay. You put the information in there. And when somebody looks at it and they read it, or they see something that they don't like, guess what? They move on.
Exactly.
But if they're going to make that first initial connection with you, they've looked at your pictures, they've hopefully read your profile, they've picked something out, and that's what we're talking about tonight.
We're conversation starter.
Right. We're talking about that. So you don't have to, guys, turn around and say, how are you today? How was your day today? Right. You know, we're trying to give you some really heads up to be able to connect with that. So the first thing in our list on our hot topics is passion. So often we are very passionate. People are very passionate about things. I'm very passionate, as you can tell, about things. And you are, about the chemistry thing. But the thing is to read the profile and look in there and see if you can determine what that person is possibly passionate about, and maybe focus a little bit about that, because what's happening is there is a connection starting that you are seeing while you're reading that profile. You're starting to feel like it's not just, the way they look, but it's also something about them that you think that you might have something in common. You might have some differences. It doesn't necessarily have to be totally.
Or you may have more things in common than you realize.
Right. Yeah. Like, for instance, when I approached you, it was about being an author, and I thought, I'm an author. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And so I wanted to find out what your book was about. What are you writing about? What are you doing? There's a couple other guys that I have talked to online that are authors. Not necessarily that I'm interested in them, but I'm interested in what they do and who they are. And I wouldn't mind making a nice friend. So, I look at it like that. I look at it as relationship building. I don't really look at it as, okay, are you definitely going to be the right one for me forever? I look at it as, okay, I want to make a friend. I want to see if we've got something in common, and can we build from that?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I think passion is very, very important. I think what you're passionate about. You're passionate about online dating. You wrote a whole book about it. That's very interesting.
I'm passionate about sports.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about classic cars.
Mm-hmm.
I even forget my own list.
So, for instance, if you were looking at his, ladies, if you were looking at his profile, there's numerous things that you could actually, say about the cars or about something.
I put a lot of effort into mine.
Right.
Okay. And it in some cases, some may consider it lengthy. Mm-hmm. But I truly describe things that I would like to have in a relationship that go beyond activities and interests and hobbies. I'm someone, for example, I feel like I'm very flexible. I don't necessarily.
Not with me.
Well, you and I have a different relationship, and what I mean, for example,
you gotta laugh over that one, don't you?
what I mean, for example, is I don't mention art museums or flea markets in my profile. But if I were to be fortunate enough to be connected with someone that's a big interest of theirs, outdoor art shows or flea markets or opera, live music. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
For me, it's more important of creating quality time together as opposed to what we're doing. I don't
Absolutely.
I don't
well,
care
the
what
thing
we're
is,
doing.
and what we're talking about tonight is not necessarily doing all of those things. It's creating a platform in which to be creative in your conversation. And so I think that when you see, let's say they are interested in opera, I've never been to an opera. So I could write and say, well, that's very interesting. I haven't been to an opera. What is it about, that type of music that you like?
Yeah.
I'd like to know more about that. So it's not about the opera. It's about why does the person like it? Why do they enjoy
in the
it?
end, being able to share quality time together.
Right.
Okay?
Well, it's being able to start a conversation where they're going to have to respond back to you. And so that's what our topic is tonight. It's not about living, happily ever after. It's about making that initial.
That's next week's show.
That's like 20 zillion million shows as we go. But it's about making that creative conversation at the very beginning.
The initial reaching out to someone. And we're trying to help you, and by describing what's the best way to do that. And
hey, Susan, nice to see you. Yeah, you like flea markets. She likes opera too.
No,
flea
she doesn't.
Opera. You don't know. Maybe she's changed over the years. Whatever. You never know. Okay, let's see what our next one is as we're going down. Oh, your life's ambitions. That's important. And then what I found was funny is that because we're, of course, a little bit older, and he said, to ask like, what are you going to be doing, 10 years from now? And it's like, well, I could be 6 feet under. I don't know. But so you can shorten it. You can say what are you going to be doing in the next couple of years? When
I was 30, that was a pertinent question. Now that I'm 3 years old, it's only 10 years. I'm hoping I make 10 more years.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it is a good topic because what is your ambition? I have a friend that he wants to, within a year's time, he wants to get a motorhome. He wants to travel around. So that's going to be a very important thing. If someone's going to have a relationship with him, do they want to give up everything and go travel around and live in a motorhome? So I mean, those are kind of things that they're not deal breakers to you, but I think that it's an interesting thing as you're talking, and maybe you're not going to use it at your very initial conversation, but it's something you could lead into as you're talking to them in person and you're meeting them. It's something you could kind of go into. These are topics, the little starters, topic starters for you to think about.
And again, you glean that from someone's online dating profile.
Right.
Read it carefully and use something in it as a conversation starter to indicate your courtesy and your respect to their interests beyond what they look like.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And another one was your, nearest and dearest. I thought that was kind of interesting because, your family and your friends, you're somewhat shaped by the people that you're with. Yes. And if you have inspirational people in your life, if you have doom and gloom in your life, those kind of things. And so it is important to know who you're connected with, because those are the people that you're going to be. If you are in a relationship with this person, you're going to kind of have to deal with a little bit
help them blend in.
Right.
Yeah.
So it does, I think it's a good idea to kind of talk about it. I often say I have 5 children and they live everywhere. They live all around different places and some local, some apart and that kind of thing. But it gives you an idea, as something to talk about. Oh, one lives in Baltimore, so you talk about Baltimore, and one lives in New York, you talk about New York, and their professions of what they do. It gives you conversation pieces in order to go from not judgment. Right. And so often as we're talking to people, we're right in the back of our minds, click, 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 red flag, red flag. And we don't want to do that. What we want to try to do is just have a conversation and allow ourselves to really start, bringing down the walls and being able to kind of connect with somebody. And okay, maybe they're not your everlasting guy or gal, but shoot, maybe you made a really great friend like you and I have done,
Yes, you're prone to want to bite my head off.
I know.
At any possible moment.
I know. See, I'm gearing him up for you girls out there.
And I've learned how to accept that and deal with it. Okay.
I know. Sometimes I do have, moments. I do. I was really tired the other day.
The thing, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass.
Positive people must, absolutely.
I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, but there's one thing I have learned about you in the time that we've been together. I'm not going to tell that story.
Oh, okay.
No, it's that you do have a deep heart.
Yeah.
And you are passionate, most definitely, about what you can do to help someone improve their life, how they can make their life better. You get a little cranky now and then, you can be a little irritable, but that's you. But I know underneath of all of that is a deep, warm heart that has nothing but good intentions. Okay?
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll let these teeth marks out of my neck, let these heal up before you put the next ones there, okay?
Well, I think that's a very good point, because I do have a vision in my life. I have a path and I have a vision, and mine is to help as many people as possible to get through some of the most difficult times in their lives. And what I've been very fortunate is I have surrounded myself with wonderful people like yourself and many out there, the radio hosts.
And I can vouch for that. The other people in the Going Solo Network are just wonderful.
Yeah.
And they share Cece's passion for helping and motivating and helping you to recreate your life and move forward in a happy and positive way. They share her passion, and it's invigorating to be around them and to talk to them and listen to them. And I've been lucky enough to do that. And I just wish their messages could get out to everyone. And what a wonderful world this would be if we could do that.
And that's what our goal is that we're going to do that.
We all understand this isn't Disneyland.
Yeah.
Okay. As much as we would like it to be, and there's realities on a day-to-day basis that we all have to deal with. But the important thing is if you can somehow create a loving, lasting, and caring relationship, it's so much easier to go through all of that with somebody.
Right.
Okay, rather than be alone. And now, this, and again, this part of why we're here. Maybe this is one element or one way of something that we can help you with and achieve that goal. Okay, and we're happy to do it. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, me too. Well, another topic that we'd come up with is describe your ideal weekend. Can you describe what is your ideal weekend?
Probably just throwing some stuff in the back of the car, taking off, and putting the GPS in the glove compartment and not even looking at it. Okay, and take off and let's just go see what we can see.
That's my grandparents used to do that. They would go like so far, however long, and then they would figure it out, and then so that they could turn around and come back again.
Well, they would
go in one direction and go. Yeah,
it would be easier for me to do that here, as opposed to where I used to live near Philadelphia. Well, I lived there for my whole entire life, save for a few brief periods of time. I would have to drive hundreds of miles before I got away from anything that was familiar.
Yeah. Down
here, I would only have to go 40 miles, and I'm already in like virgin territory. And that to me initially would be the ideal weekend, and with the idea of just see what I can see, share that with and I'd make that a lot of fun for someone. I know that I would. And then the only time I worry about the GPS is trying to get home.
Right.
I pull
it back out
so
of
we
the
can
truck.
Go home,
but okay. So what did this do when we're listening to him talk about his ideal weekend?
I hope it sounds romantic as hell.
But yeah, so not only does it sound romantic, but it sounds adventurous.
Yeah.
We start to live in his shoes a little bit and think, oh, wouldn't that be kind of fun to do something like that?
Just go see what we're going to see.
To be able to explore things. I dated a guy one time that no, you don't like motorcycles, but he had a motorcycle, and that's what he would do. He would just go and drive, and then we would go and have lunch, and then we'd turn around and come back, and eventually we'd have to have dinner, and but we had a ball, and so that. But I mean, living in someone else's a world a little bit, allowing them to share bits and pieces of themselves so that you can make that connection.
Or
that's what's so great.
Finding a monster classic car show, like they have one.
He's gonna go on and on about his weekends.
I mean, there are some things in the back of the car. We'll go to but by the same token, okay, especially this time of year, if she were to say to me, "Oh, Kit, I would just love to go see the leaves turning." We don't see that here in Florida.
Right.
Okay, ever. Okay. If she were to say to me, "Oh, Kit, I would just love, I've never seen the leaves change." I got it. I'm on it. Let's go. We'll have a great time.
All the girls now.
Yeah.
But so isn't that a great conversation starter? So for instance, if he says, in his profile that he likes to do something like that, he likes to go and take trips on the weekend.
And it's in my profile.
Right. And so then you mention a little bit of something when you're talking, well, where would you, when you email, well, where would you like to go? And she could come back and they say, well, I've never seen the leaves. It just gives you conversation that you're building a relationship because you're building a connection versus how are you today? What are you going to tell him? Hey, man, I had a really bad day and I feel like a witch tonight. We're not going to say that. We're going to say, oh, it was great. So anyhow, so we go on from that. And the other one was about open messages, tell your match about yourself, help them. I do believe, and I've said this before, I do believe that a lot of our online conversations needs to be short and sweet, and we need to get off of it, and we need to get on the phone and start talking. But these topics that we're sharing tonight, you can use them on the phone, you can use them when you're in person, you can use
them for your initial introduction,
right,
by email through the site,
right,
okay, and that's essentially what we were setting up for tonight.
Right, for everything. But what I will tell you,
step one.
And I'll tell you a funny story, because what I will tell you is that before you meet in person, read their profile again before you walk out that door. Mm-hmm. Because it's very helpful. Because the one time I went to go meet a guy, and I was so busy, and I had been talking to a lot of guys online. And I didn't remember, and I'm so like a whirlwind, and I didn't remember what he looked like. And I met him in this place. I was with my girlfriend, and she goes, "Where is he?" And I said, "I don't remember what he looks like." So I didn't remember what he looked like. Then when we went to go meet, I couldn't remember his name because I had met so many people. I was so in a hurry and everything. You know, I was like so overwhelmed with the whole thing because I was very beginning of dating. And so I couldn't remember what he looked like. I couldn't remember his name. I couldn't remember diddly about him. And so when I met him, of course, you know, it was really not a very good experience. And so take note, just before you're ready, run out the door, look at his picture, get his name, and read his profile again. But bless his heart, he was a very nice man. You know, he was a very nice man.
Just
but he thought I was a little too ditzy, which I totally get, because I can be like that at times. But I am a lot of fun.
Yes, you are.
And
indeed, you are. Yeah.
But that was really funny. But my girlfriend,
she does have a great sense of humor, folks. Sometimes it's a little rough reaching it and pulling it out.
And also, I will tell you some things not to do. Like, for instance, this is another thing that happened to me with the same person. It's okay. We finally got okay. We're getting along okay. Everything was great. I managed to get through figuring out what his name was, getting my memory back of all this stuff. And so we were doing really well. And we were walking outside to go to another place. And like an idiot, I never do things like this. I just pointed over to this car and I said, "Isn't that the ugliest car that you've ever seen?"
Oh no! And let me guess who owned it. Let me guess who
and
owned
I said,
the car.
"Whoever owns that, it's got to be really boring, because look how square that car is. I mean, it's like no personality was." And I just went on.
Oh.
I mean, never do I do this. I just went on, thinking I was being really clever, which I was being subtly rude and awful. And he turns to me and he goes, "That's my car." So needless to say, that was the end of the relationship building, because
really?
Just nipped it right in the bud.
Really?
You know, you do not insult a guy over his car. You do not.
I thought you were going to tell us this wonderful romantic tale.
I can tell you some romantic things. You know what? Let me tell you one. Well, I guess we probably should save it for when we meet. You know, when we're going to talk about meeting the first time, because I have a very, very romantic story with the guy that I met online. That he did the first time we met, and I will tell you that he read my profile. And that's why he kind of knew about me. And then during the conversation, we had, conversations that he asked me some key questions and things like that. So I won't tell you all of it now, so you'll have to wait for another show. But it was really very romantic, and I was just totally blown away by him. And I dated him for 3 years, so he was a very very sweet man. But just not my guy, but somebody else's guy. And he's married now, so I'm sure they'll be very happy. He didn't like all the stuff that I do. And, there again, it's connecting with your passion. You do have to connect with somebody that appreciates you for who you are and where you're at. And so as you're growing. And I think
a big part of it, too, is our age bracket now. And I don't mean to harp on this like I do.
I'm not going to have children anymore. I'm
sorry. Well,
that's,
now it's funny that you say that, because that was one of the things, for example, that
guys, if you're going younger,
you don't expect to see in a profile is looking to start a family. Mm-hmm. I'm out at that point. I can't. Yeah. Okay, and for medical reasons, and not the one you may be thinking of, but
it's like craziness.
But we're at a point in our lives in this age bracket where we realize more than ever how the depth of a quality relationship that it certainly does go beyond just looks, and being attracted to pictures. We definitely are looking for more. We know there's more to it. So that you have that aspect to it too.
Well, that's the thing, is you want a quality person in your life. And so why are we not building? Why are we not taking, that building blocks, the steps towards building a relationship, a quality relationship? Why are we thinking that we can just go online, look at a picture, and shebang, that's it? That's not it, because online is a vehicle in which to meet someone. So take advantage of every aspect of that.
Yes.
And use it to your ability to be able to grow from it, and use it so that you can make that connection with somebody else. And, I just think online dating is awesome. I know everybody out there sometimes are up and down about it, but I just think that you can take away with it what you want.
And at some point, we're running out of time.
I know.
But at some point, one of our shows, we've kind of steered away from it. We haven't gotten into it.
Oh, he's going to talk about chemistry.
No, we are. That's another show, too, that we're going to do. But we've kind of have steered away from the frauds and the scams part of it, which is the ultimate negative.
Well, we did talk. We haven't done it about that.
Well,
hey, Bill, wine on the show? Oh, yeah. Well, today I wasn't feeling well, so I have a Diet Coke.
Cheers, Bill.
Yeah, but we do drink. I'll drink his wine, so at least.
Okay, you can have a sip. It is something that we should take a little bit of time and devote an entire show to it, because
to what?
To the frauds and the scams and
we did do a show about that. We did. Have you forgotten?
Where was I?
Where was I when we did that? We did do a show about that.
Okay.
But we can do another one, because there are so many out there, and it doesn't hurt for you guys to be aware.
It's more like there's so many people out there that do it, as opposed to what the scams and frauds are.
Right.
They're still the same pretty simple ones to figure out. And we'll address that in a little more detail later on, because that's about, in my estimation, it's about the only real negative about online dating. There are people that have issues with it. There are people that have had problems with it. There are people that have not been happy with it. And that's part of what we're doing right now is to help you, get that happiness from it, enjoy it more, and, get over what you perceive to be some of the negatives of it. Okay. And that's a lot of what we're all about. Absolutely.
It's not always so easy to do, the online dating. You have to kind of step out and be open-minded. And so sometimes that is a very scary thing to do. But I do feel that listening to positive shows like what we have on WGSN-DB and Going Solo Network, listening to some of those shows, our shows, we try to help take you through some of those things and get you through to the other side of it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like tonight, I love the topic. I love to be able to connect with people in a very wholesome, good way.
Yes.
And
yes,
that
absolutely.
really brings out the personalities of people, because that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No question about it.
Right. So let's recap real quick, because I know our time is coming out. But what we were talking about, the topics was to talk about maybe your passions, read the profile, like Kit said, read the profile. Your life's ambitions is another one. Your nearest and dearest.
Friends and family.
Yep. Friends and family. Describe an ideal weekend, which is, totally awesome. And then really kind of knowing what your match is, thinking about what that connection is and what really works for you.
Yes.
So those are the ideas to use for topics when you're trying to communicate, so you can put aside that, how are you tonight?
And, if you have any questions whatsoever, okay, Cece has a number of pages. I have my personal page, my book page. You're always welcome to send in any questions, anything you'd like us to address, suggestions for topics for future shows. We would love it. We look forward to hearing from you. And in the meantime, let us say again, please like our pages. Please share our information with others and keep an eye on us. We've got some things coming up in the future which we think you're really, really going to be interested in. And we're looking forward, you know, Cece and I are looking forward to really getting into that, and can't wait to finally make an announcement, you know, of the things that we're going to do. So for the
Because I'm
time
driving
being,
him crazy, and if we don't hurry up and get it done,
yeah,
he's going to be.
I'm going to
he's
jump
be
off the
nuts.
deck out here, okay? and they'll be coming along with a shovel to scoop me up.
I know. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get a little intense about things, but you know, it's all good, and it's all moving in the positive, a good way. So I also wanted to share with you guys that we meet the divorce support group. We meet the first Friday of every month. We meet at Applebee's in Largo. If anybody wants to join us, if you're going through some tough times, come out and meet a bunch of great people. And it's not a, you know, cry and beat your ex up type of thing. It's to connect, and so that we can move forward in a very positive way. And it's very motivational. So we meet the first Friday of every month, and I've been doing this for years. So come on out and join us. So so it'd be great. So we'd love to have you there. And again, you know, like you said, make sure if you want to send us an email, you can go to goingsolo network@gmail.com. You can always write me there. And I share
our personal pages.
Yep, and our personal pages. Send
anything.
a message, anything you'd like. So we'd love for you to connect with us, because we love you. This is what we're here for.
Yeah, that's what we look forward to doing.
Absolutely.
I mean, and you could, again, I'll reiterate, you can even suggest topics for us that you'd like us to look at, address, and maybe devote a whole show to. We would love that. I would love it. You know, to have you tell us what you'd like to hear, what you'd like to learn about, what you'd like to know.
Right, and if you want to be on the show, we'd love to have you. So, I mean, not only can you connect this way.
Can we squeeze somebody else in between?
We can, but we can connect on the computer too. So, I mean, so you can be in your home and we can connect, but also we can connect through the lobby if anybody ever wants to come through on the lobby. I know people are always shy and they don't necessarily want to do that, but you are always welcome to join us here on the show, because we would love to have you. But we would love to have you as a guest if you have a topic you want to talk about, if you do something, if you're a coach, if you have something you want to share, we'd love to be able to have you on.
Oh, well, that's awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we do have a guest coming up soon.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we're going to be having a couple guests, and then even Bruce Starr said he would come back on, which I'd love to have him back on again too. So yeah. So we've got some things cooking.
Do I want Bruce Starr, or do I want one of those cuties that you have in your network?
I say Bruce Starr. I like Bruce Starr.
Okay. Okay.
Ladies, I'm sticking up for you. I'm watching out for you. No, we're going to have some great people on.
That's okay, Bruce. You're a cutie too. Okay.
We love it. All right. Well, I think we're going to have to close out the show. Yeah. I know we've been kind of rattling on. We do that. We tend to do that.
And we hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We've given you some information you can take advantage of, but it's all about having fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yes, relationships are serious. There's no question about it. And we don't mean to make light of it, but we're at the same time, can we have fun while we're closing out all these topics? Can we enjoy it? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It's all about having fun and enjoying life.
Right.
And that's what we're about.
And we do a lot of events too. So you want to keep eye out for some of the events that we do. I mean, one of my girlfriends, we're going to be doing some things together for singles when she gets back. So, and we like to go listen to bands and listen to music. And that's a good way of being able to get out. So,
yes.
So yeah. So there's a lot of things we're doing, and it's just amazing.
So keep in touch.
No wonder I get tired and grouchy.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we love you, and we hope that you will join us back here, same night, same
bat time, same bat channel.
Absolutely. So, and those of you out there would know. So buy a ticket to win the boat. Yes,
Yes.
Oh, Bill, yes, buy a ticket to win the boat. Here we go. Buy a ticket to win the boat. Yes, if you guys have noticed and I'll put it around on our Facebook pages again, it goes to a great charity, and you have an opportunity for a very little amount of money. You have a chance to actually win this absolutely fabulous boat and to be able to help. Here's Bill saying $40 Bill, I thought you're supposed to be unpacking your house and getting yourself organized. For $40, and you can win this marvelous boat. But better yet, you can actually help a charity.
Yes.
And you can help someone that really needs to be able to, move forward and help and change lives. So I think it's definitely awesome. So thanks, Bill. So
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, thank you for that. All right, well, listen, guys, we're going to have to go. We really do. Oh, look, he's saying here, this is how much. This is how much the boat is worth, $150,000 for $40.
Wow.
Yeah, $40. And I tell you what, if you win the boat, I'll come on the boat with you.
And that's part of your doyen menu,
yes,
isn't
that's it. I will come on the boat with you. So if you win, go out and buy your ticket right here. Here's the site for it. Thank you for posting it. So you go out and buy your ticket, and if you win, just contact me and I'll come out on the boat with you. We'll spend the day together, and I will nag all day long for you. That's what I'll do. I'll just nag.
In next week's introduction to the show, when we get to the doyen part, she's the doyen of nagging too.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the way it is. That's the way it goes. What can I say? Hey, guys, we got to go for now. Bye.
See you next week.
Love ya.
To discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Bye.
Good night.